Let's chat Challenge Cup winners and losers. People are real attached to those words, right? If you're on one side or the other. And you know what? We're going to keep that going here on Attacking Third. We're going to take a look at each of the regions for Challenge Cup, the way they are broken down, the teams who are involved in them, maybe kind of jump into the previews that we were doing a little bit of these teams during our NWSL team by team preseason previews, and take a look at maybe who stands out among these three regional groups as Challenge Cup gets slated to kick off. Let's start with the East region, Lisa. For the East region, it's New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC, North Carolina Courage, Orlando Pride, and Washington Spirit. So when we did our previews of these particular teams, we had Gotham ranked at fourth, in terms of a projected finish come the end of 2022 season. North Carolina Courage gave them a bit of a range. We said they can be as ambitious, as sixth place or possibly fall out of contention at 7 or 8.
They were right on our bubble.
They were on our, but we had a lot of bubble teams,
We had a lot of
in
bubble
an
teams.
expansion year. Orlando Pride, we kept them at the bottom. We got to see what they're made of, right? Maybe we'll get a taste of that in this Challenge Cup at 12th place. And Washington Spirit, you and I both agree that this is going to be the team to chase during 2022 as the top number one ranked team, the defending NWSL champions. We got them ranked at number one. When you're looking at this East region, who are you looking to make some noise during this Challenge Cup out of this particular group?
Well, I think all eyes are on Washington Spirit. They have to be, as 2021 NWSL champions. We dubbed them as number one heading into 2022. I mean, they're at the top of the table right now. They're top dogs. Can they be the same? I mean, we did our deep dive of Washington Spirit and kind of looking at their roster. They return majority of their players from last year. They're still a young squad with that mix of experience between Kelly Herrera, Aubrey Bledsoe, now Kingsbury, Emily Sonnet, Andy Sullivan in the midfield. So they have a really nice mix. Now they have Chris Ward as head coach, with a preseason for him, although missing a lot of players due to international duty during the preseason. I think that Challenge Cup is going to be a good jumping off point for Washington Spirit. Honestly, I don't think we'll see the team that we saw at the end of 2021 at the start of Challenge Cup. I just don't. But I don't think it'll be the same team that we'll see throughout the regular season, just kind of based on how things shake out. So when I look at this East region between Gotham, North Carolina, Orlando, and Washington, I think that Gotham and Washington are going to be the two teams to kind of chase here in this East region. Top dogs, especially with Gotham, they have a lot of new faces. They have Christy Mewis, they have Ashlyn Harris, they have Ali Krieger, they have Yokiyama. They just have different players that can provide different looks for Gotham, and also with Scott Parkinson as their head coach. So I think I might dub Gotham as my winner of this bracket. And honestly, I'm going to give Orlando Pride as my loser of this East region, just because of the growth that they need to have and the strides that they need to make throughout this Challenge Cup, which frankly could be seen as a winner in that sense. If they can make strides, establish themselves, get 6 games under their belt against reigning NWSL champions Gotham. North Carolina is known as a powerhouse, kind of seeing what they can do there. But a lot of young players on Orlando, a new coach in Amanda Cromwell, just a lot of things there that are uncertain to me. So that's what I'm going to go with for the East region. But we'll see kind of what Washington happens. For you, Sandra, is there a loser in this group of 4 by any chance? And loser just in like a loose sense,
In a loser in a loser sense. I don't know. We're just having fun with it here. We try to have fun on Attacking Third, right? I'm with you 100% on maybe the teams to look out for who are going to come out as the winners on this one. And obviously, we mentioned Spirit is as the reigning NWSL champions, and then Gotham as sort of this team to try to build off of what they built off of last year, right? We hit them with the burning question: can they deliver on the pitch when it matters, right? And we're going to get a taste of that from this team in the Challenge Cup. But I'm with you in terms of when we're looking at those quote unquote loser side of things here. Like, what are we going to be looking at from this group? We had ranked the Pride low for a projected finish in the regular season, but I'm not too sure if that's going to be true for the Challenge Cup. I'm not saying that they're going to come out here and shock the league and run away, with their group and then run away with the Challenge Cup, but we are going to get a look at teams very much coming out of a preseason sense, still sort of kicking off the rust. And I think when you have so many teams kind of starting off at the same level, anything can happen because people are still trying to shake off the rust. They're still trying to sort of iron out those crinkles, right, in their games and from the off season. So I'm curious to sort of see what Amanda Cromwell's Orlando Pride looks in this Challenge Cup.
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity for them to maybe look at it not so much as a long season grind, but kind of this like this sort of small mini tournament where you can maybe try to capture
Yeah.
lightning in a bottle, right? And sort of maybe be able to go up against teams who are maybe still trying to figure out the same thing. Because when you're looking at a side like North Carolina Courage, maybe in a similar position to Gotham in terms of having a handful of veteran NWSL experienced players on their team, but still mostly having a lot of fresh new faces and younger prospects, right? And yet on one hand, people are viewing the Courage as potentially maybe being like a bubble team, like how we had
Yeah.
them, versus looking at a team like the Pride and saying, no, we're going to be ranking them a little lower. So I think there's an argument to be made, right, for either of those teams. But I'm still excited to sort of see how they roll out. I want to see what these new players, what this new blood is
Yeah.
bringing to these franchises in NWSL this year.
Yeah, I am hyped about that. I'm excited about the East region, and um, they could be big powerhouses there. When you look at the Central region, Sandra, Chicago Red Stars, Houston Dash, Kansas City Current, and Racing Louisville FC, all those Midwest teams packed in the middle there. Our rankings for them when we did our preseason and our team by team previews for Chicago, we put them just on the bubble of playoffs, that 6, 7, 8 range to see if they could squeak into playoffs. Houston, they were also a bubble team for us, 6, 7, 8. Kansas City, they had a number of offseason trades and movement in their front office and with their player personnel. We dubbed them at number 5. So in playoff contention with the Sox top 6 spots making the postseason for the regular season. And then for Racing Louisville, we had them at the bottom of the table, not quite last though, but we put them at 11 to start this regular season. So when you look at these 4 clubs, Chicago, Houston, Kansas City, and Racing Louisville, is there one that really stands out to you? Who do you think could dominate this group, this central region?
When I'm looking at this central region, first of all, I'm like, Midwest is best, right? I'm always gonna stand, right, for the for the Midwest. But you're also looking at these other teams, Houston, right, repping the South, Racing repping the Midwest, the South Midwest. Well, look,
It's Midwest. It's
we'll
far
let
from
them
me on the East Coast. Is Midwest.
we'll let them determine and label themselves. I'm not gonna put labels on anybody. They can label themselves, but I'm loving it. I'm loving the Central region. Feels right. Feels like it's gonna be some good soccer coming out of this one. But when I'm looking for a team who's gonna stand out and potentially be the winners of this group, I have to take a look at Kansas City Current. I'm very impressed with their offseason and what they've been doing to date, going out and picking up, making player acquisitions, right? Making moves off the pitch. And I'm hoping what we see during Challenge Cup is that it's going to translate onto the pitch for them. That this hype that they're
Mhm.
doing around their club is going to actually lead to results for them on this pitch, right? This is one of the clubs that we're talking about when we've been mentioning in some of our previews and even in this one for Challenge Cup that there have been some NWSL franchises that have got out there and had some head-to-head preseason scrimmages with other clubs, and that includes Kansas City Current, that includes Orlando Pride, right? That includes Washington Spirit, that includes Chicago Red Stars, that includes Kansas City Current. So there's already been a little bit of a taste in terms of stepping out onto the pitch and going up against other NWSL clubs. But this is going to be the first time where they do it in front of cameras and lights and have to sort of work out the X's and O's on a pitch to pick up points in an effort to actually mean something. So I'm excited to take a look at Kansas City and what they're going to be producing, and I'm looking at them to sort of take this central region. When you're looking at the opposite side of this.
Yeah.
Who are you looking at among these teams to maybe kind of get left behind and work on their regular season earlier than anticipated?
Yeah, I mean it's a good way to phrase it. Almost get left behind in the Challenge Cup, but focus on the regular season. I think that Racing Louisville has good pieces, despite our early rankings of them at 11th at the end of the 2022 regular season. I think that they could surprise people throughout this Challenge Cup. Maybe it's the fact that they have players like Jess McDonald that can say like, let's win this thing. Like, I mean, for me, if I'm Racing Louisville head coach, probably not going to win the NWSL regular season. Now, I'm not telling anyone that, and I'm not really even thinking about that, but I have that thought in my head. But if I have the potential to win the Challenge Cup, that's pretty huge. You want to go out, put all your eggs in a basket, and you can do that. So, Racing Louisville isn't going to be my loser. I'm kind of excited to see what happens with them in this Challenge Cup, what they can bring, what they can provide. I think between Chicago and Houston, they could take this Challenge Cup as a stepping stone towards the regular season, and they could kind of look past it almost to say, all right, let's throw out maybe our C team and see what they can do, and we'll keep our starters healthy. So I could see Chicago and Houston not making it through to the semifinals, but kind of battling it out. So I'm interested to watch that match between those two teams. Maybe Houston, we'll see. I'll give it to them. I'm not entirely sure with this one. I am excited to watch Kansas City, though, in racing. I think they have a lot to prove, especially in this central region. It's almost like
there's a lot of
snackable.
sleeper picks, almost,
Exactly.
I think, in this one.
Exactly. It's a little bit of a snackable region that Kansas City can go and just take it game by game. Racing Louisville as well. They can say, okay, like we can beat Kansas City. We've done it in the past. They have different players, but so do we. And let's go out there and play. So I'm actually pretty pumped for the central region. We'll see. Maybe Midwest is best, but I'm not going to give that one to you yet.
We'll see. They still got to play the games, right? We've got one more region to get through when we're taking a look at winners, potential winners and losers coming out of the Challenge Cup. For the West region, it's Angel City FC, OL Reign, Portland Thorns FC, and San Diego Wave FC to close out the West. It's two expansion sides that are part of this West region amongst some heavy hitters, right, in NWSL history. Two teams that have been in part of the NWSL since 2013. Lisa, when you're looking at these teams, who are you looking to sort of, pick as your winner to have these big impacts during Challenge Cup?
Who do I think is going to win and kind of make a big punch? Portland Thorns. I do.
Okay.
I think that they're a team that we've gotten a taste of them in their preseason tournament and kind of what they can provide, what they can do. And Olivia Moultrie isn't even playing with them. She's playing with the U23s.
Yep.
So to then have her back on the squad, I think that Portland is going to show up. They want to be a top dog. They want to win. They don't want to take anything easy. They like to win every game and play every single match like it's their last one and like it's a championship. So I could see Portland coming into this Challenge Cup and looking to be big winners. I think it's going to be a stepping stone for Angel City and San Diego because there's a lot of pressure, a lot of lights, a lot of sparkle around them. But I'm going to go with Portland. For you, I mean, as you mentioned, two expansion clubs, two heavy hitters in Portland and OL Reign. For me, I think Portland is going to be a big 1-2 punch against these other sides. Maybe not OL Reign, but I think they're not going to go easy against the expansion clubs in Angel City and San Diego. Nope, not at all. Not by any means. For you, who stands out, whether it's positive sides, who you're looking to watch, winners, loser, anything, which team of these four stands out?
Listen, I'm with you, but I'm going to be going in the same idea, but with a different team. I'm going to be looking at OL Reign to sort of continue to build on what they were also building on last year, right? Laura Harvey coming in mid to late season in 2021. A lot of the makeup of the team is more or less still together in terms of their starters that we could see as people who could be considered kind of key players, right, amongst this roster. I want to see them throughout the duration of the Challenge Cup and get different looks, and I'm sure they're going to pick up results. Obviously, they're going to produce good games when it's talking about these two particular teams and their rivalries. But when you're looking at these two California sides, it's also going to be their kind of first crack at some NWSL action, right? It's going to still be preseason. It's still going to be teammates
Mhm.
who are still getting used to each other, getting familiar with how the other plays, and familiar with their movements on the pitch and stuff like that. So I think the West region could actually be the region that kind of starts to separate itself a little bit, where you're
Yeah.
sort of seeing like the 1 and 2 of the group, and then the 3 and 4 of the group. Now, how it's going to shake out, we still have to, that we still have to take a look at the games and see how that all shakes out. But I'm going to be going for, winners in this one, looking at OL Reign to kind of make some noise a little bit. And I'm going to be looking at one of the California teams to sort of maybe fight for the wooden spoon, in that they don't want to
Yeah.
be at the bottom of the table for this one. So when we're looking at each of these teams, let's just like rapid fire. Let's go East, Central, West. When you're looking at it, give me 3 teams who you think are going to push through to a semifinal.
Yeah, so it's one team from each region. The top team pushes through to the semifinal, and then number 2 of one of them. All right, so East region. I'm going to go Washington Spirit.
Okay.
Top dog taking it through. Central region, Kansas City. Heck
Yep.
yeah, give it to me,
Yep.
Casey Current. West region, Portland Thorns for me.
Right on. I'm similar, but a little bit different. I'm going Gotham. I'm going Gotham coming out of the East. For Central, I'm keeping it Kansas City. I want to drink the teal Kool-Aid. And for West region, I'm sticking with OL Reign.